3v3 Typhon Arena. Blue team, we have mscomies as a Mekboy, teleporting range commander, does nice damage, can also support really well and put down turrets. Not the toughest little orc though. Klaw as a Warboss, now this is a tough orc, bashes through cover as you saw there, knocked down a wall. Good disruption, damage and support for his boys. Rounding out blue team, we have S1M0N as an Eldar Warlock, offensive melee commander, has a bunch of spells, very nice disruption later on too. Red team, we have Edtjuh as another Eldar Warlock, using fleet there to speed up his movement. Tyger as a Kommando Nob, infiltrating commander, nice damage melee and ranged, and lots of nasty tricks. Rounding out red team, we have Dirkradix as a plague champion, starts off in ranged combat, can be fearsome in melee and can support with heals. Bad news for light infantry in tier 2 with all these nasty AoE damage as well. Looks like reds are gonna take the bottom victory point southwest. Warlock took a lot of damage from that plague bolter, does damage over time and it does start racking up. Guardians take cover though, focusing down the plague champion start, so 650 hit points. Is taking a lot of damage from his guardians. There's a destructor too, and Dirkradix backs off. Here come banshees from Edtjuh, light infantry with power weapons, bit of a glass cannon. They force the Mekboy to teleport out. Now we can try and focus down these banshees, which is what you want to do really. Don't really have a hard melee counter this early in the game, Orks. But he forces off the banshees and might be able to finish him off too. Mekboy does pretty nice damage with his default gun. Can he finish them off? He does, and the Guardians took a lot of damage too. Warlock on his own, not a good first engagement for Edtjuh. You see War used by the shooter boys, the yellow circles. Damage and speed buff, depending on how many units use War at once. Mekboy now capping, and this Warlock is probably going to be forced off. Yes, and now commies can cap up the northeast. There's a natural for red in the east and a natural for blue in the north. Red team now pushing blue's natural power here, which is full of generators. And he might lose all of them. Dirkradix pushing this node as well. Grenade launchers on the heretics. Turns them into a kind of mini artillery unit. Shuriken cannon for Simon is going to set up and suppress these orcs. Is that double big shooters for Tyger? It is. Big shooter. No, just a Nob leader for mscomies shooters. The other squad has no upgrades. Edtjuh's Guardians coming back out, and he's gone for Rangers. Dirkradix backing off. She's all alone down here, and here comes Orks and Eldar. That was mucus discharge, was it? Yes. Healing up the heretics. She needs support though. Where's Tyger? He is in middle, defending power, alongside Edtjuh, who has merciless switchblade already. Dirkradix backing off. And red team might lose this power here. Storm boys on the field for Klaw. Jump infantry with power weapons, very good offensively, but they do need looking after. Simon's Warlock forced to retreat, and now Dirkradix turns around and defends. Those grenade launchers will do pretty nicely against those shooter boys, and here comes Tyger to help. Noise Marines on the field for Dirkradix. Fantastic damage versus those shooter boys and disabling their range weapons. Can the Warboss decap? No, doesn't finish the decap. That's a mistake from Klaw. Now tries to disrupt and keep these Chaos Forces at bay. Noise Marines use their cacophony, which knocks him down. Also affects allied units though, so you need to be careful with it. Storm Boys forced off, though they didn't take a loss, which is nice for them. They do bleed you quite a lot, costing requisition and power to reinforce. Don't know the exact numbers. 425, 466 is a 2-to-1 for blue, but they're going to lose their natural here to Guardians who have their battle equipment. Blue team really stacking at the bottom. Shuriken cannon, but here comes the Kommando Nob. Infiltrated, what is he going to do? A shame he doesn't have stick bombs. Edtjuh getting another ranger squad. And he's forcing melee on the Shuriken. No, chucks a stun bomb, stunning that entire group. And here comes Dirkradix from the south. Noise Marines moving in, they can disable the Shuriken cannon, can they? Yes. There's an immolate on the Noise Marines though from Simon. And they back off, and here comes Klaw to defend. 415, 458. Double rangers from Edtjuh. We'll be looking to bleed these Orks with constant losses. Triple shooters from commies. Dirkradix the first to go tier 2. Chaos Forces forced off. Noise Marines just got out of there with a single model. Now blue can push this power again. 413, 456. Here comes Edtjuh's Warlock. Has done really well to hold his natural after losing those Banshees so quickly. Retreating now though, and Rangers have been caught by the Mekboy who's using his mobility to try and tie him up, I think, and he's taken out models. Pathfinder gear on both Rangers. Makes them a lot better with fleet and conceal and the ability to infiltrate themselves. Shooters, triple shooters even, now working on this power, and red team might lose it. They are not really in the position to defend. Chaos on Orks at the bottom, and Edtjuh has double rangers and Guardians, not the sturdiest fours to defend power with. Though he will be able to bleed these shooters from a distance. Here comes red team at the bottom. Heal going off from the Plague Champion. 413, 413. Energy shields up from the Guardians of Simon. Shuriken cannon behind them. They will have perfect cover now. Commandos pulled in by Tyger. That's a tier 2 global ability of the Kommando Nob. Usually you need to wait to tier 3 to get commandos. Will they chuck a burner bomb in? No, they use Love the Dagger instead. Excellent disruption ability. Knocking back the Shuriken cannon. Here comes the Warboss to try and time up. Meanwhile, Noise Marines working on that power. Warboss forced off. And Shooter Boys forced off. Dirkradix needs to support this play on this VP, I think. Commandos run away. Sink kill on retreat. This Warlock's in trouble though and needs to retreat through all this stuff. But gets away. 413, 345, a double for blue. They are losing a natural though. Edtjuh capping with Warlock. Has gone tier 2, the last to go. Dirkradix getting some Plague Marines. And red able to take the bottom. Weird Boy on the field for Tyger. Lost a Shooter Boy squad and a Slugger Boy squad. Node being built. Reds haven't really been. Look at that, node is just about hanging on with 8 hit points. A lot more pressure on this power node than the other one. Cacophony from the Noise Marines knocks back the Sluggers. They have their Nob leader though, should be using Swamp from here. Can they take out the Noise Marines? Surely they do. Storm Boys have their gigantic Nob leader. Makes them even nastier in melee and stun when they land. Here comes the Warboss. There's a stomp. I imagine we'll see the Power Claw soon enough. Has a war truck. Support vehicle for Orks. Allows them to reinforce and can transport units. Plague Marines on the field for Dirkradix, and she's going for another one. 361, 325. That war truck's going to be in a lot of trouble. Double Plague Marines on the field. Very tough anti-vehicle unit. Their missiles also snare vehicles. Though they don't do huge amounts of damage on their own. And Reds lose that power. Blue's starting to rebuild theirs. And triple gens for both. This breakpoint uncapped. Orks pushing Red's natural, but they're losing their natural again. No, they're recapping it. Warlock for Edtjuh has Champion's Robe, might get Part of Darkness for synergy with this thing. Taking a lot of damage right now. Part of Darkness would have helped then. Rangers forced off by the Mekboy. Where we see a plasma grenade here. There it is. Edtjuh cancels it, and there it is again, and Edtjuh cancels it again, and there it is for a third time. Finally goes off. Nice cat and mouse with the plasma grenade there, but it didn't hit in the end. That's a noxious cloud. Don't think Simon has noticed, now does, and just retreats those guys. Ouch, losing models. Dirkradix did not move it though. Too busy fighting here. Warboss trying to tie up these Plague Marines so they can't shoot at the war truck. Needs another melee unit though. There's 2 Plague Marines here and gets them to retreat. I'd have thought they could have stuck around and took out the war truck. Sluggers down to just 4 models, but they are reinforcing out of the war truck. Kommando Nob forced off. Double warp spiders for Simon, and mscomies goes tier 3 and has conquered the top Ork on the field for Edtjuh. Jumping in amongst these shooters. Nice special attack too. Warlock does have the Heart of Darkness. Really great accessory since they buffed it. And Blue will take the southwest. War truck needs some repairs. Warboss trying to take out this node, but doesn't bother. There goes Zap on these shooter boys. They might want to retreat. They're alright. Zap only really useful if there's a lot of squads bunched up, so it can constantly jump. And it's a 2-1-4 Blue 3-3-1 218. What is this? A Bright Lance for Edtjuh. Not sure why. I only have a war truck on the field and it's down the bottom. Kommando Nob has his devastating special shooter, which is a shotgun. Passively knocks down units. Good AoE damage, and has the ridiculous explosive shells ability. There's a burner bomb, but the warp spiders dodge it. And here's a bunch of shooters. And what is the Kommando Nob doing? He's forced off, walking through that burner bomb, and might go down here. The shooter boys are chasing and does so. Tyger not paying attention, and Dirkradix forced from the bottom. They're going to lose his power again. 319, 215. Blue team all going tier 3. Tyger is tier 3. Don't think these double Plague Marines are really cutting it in terms of bleeding the enemy. Looks like they took care of the war truck though. Using a Bright Lance to hit power here, and it's done a pretty good job of it. Rangers lose a model, down to 1 model this squad, and Warlock is capping, and Edtjuh is taking the top here despite the amount of units mscomies has. He's in the middle. Ork jumps in, will need to be forced off though. Has her shield and her spear, so going to stick around a bit longer. Rangers bleeding those shooter boys too. And Ork retreats, jumping over stuff as she goes. Shooter boys get away with 2 models. Tier 3 for Simon. The last of the blue team to get there. Plague Champion only has the mucus discharge. I think the Plague Champion really comes into his own when you start stacking him up with war gear. Here comes the Warboss, and he does have his humongous power claw and heavy armor, and is getting a trophy rack. Level 2, 1800 hit points now. Stormboys jump after the Plague Champion. This is dangerous. Uses mucus discharge and gets away, I think. Stormboys Are they going to tie up some Plague Marines? No, here comes a Blood Crusher from Dirkradix. mscomies has a Battle Wagon on the way. Blue team will need that Warboss to take care of that Blood Crusher, I think. Warlock forced off by double Kommando squad, which is pretty nice. Nice range damage, nice disruption. And Blood Crusher doesn't want anything to do with this Warboss with that Klaw. Mark of Tzeentch Space Marines, Chaos Space Marines even. Gives them Inferno Bolts, good range damage towards infantry, especially heavy infantry. Bright Lance, a hard vehicle counter, though it will be pretty nice against this Battle Wagon if it gets into range. Does not snare like las cannons, but does do very nice DPS. Double Warp Spiders, insane damage to those commandos. Blood Crusher chasing them around though, and they teleport out. Other squads staying around to finish off the Plague Marines, and there they go. Dirkradix lost both Plague Marine squad and is now getting a Chaos Dreadnought. 247-215. Storm Boys jumping in, going after the heretics, who completely lose melee effectiveness with those grenade launchers, and they run away. Kommando Nob in there, level 4. And this might be a dead Warboss. Has boyz. Global buff of the Warboss. But has an Autarch, Blood Crusher and Plague Champion shooting at him, and it's a dead Warboss surely. Needs to retreat. Edtjuh's Merciless Switchblade constantly disrupting him, and he goes down. Here is the Chaos Dreadnought with its default autocannon, and Tyger has a Nob squad on the field. 233-215 is very close. Tier 3 melee unit, very very powerful, have their Edtjuh jammers now, so they will do even more damage. Nob squad on the way for Klaw. Edtjuh has spotted the Battle Wagon. Soup unit for Orks. Rattles around running over stuff. You need to garrison it, and it is garrisoned, to have all of its weapons fire though. Chaos Dreadnought taking out power generators with that autocannon. Good damage versus all targets and a small AoE. Edtjuh causing havoc with the Autarch and Warlock. Autarch though retreats and gets away fine. The Warlock's still there though. Can finish off Simon's Warlock, no. Needs to retreat I think, and does so. Bottom is still red, but blue have both the natural victory points. Mekboy very slowly working on this power node. Has his battery pack but nothing else. Still only the mucus discharge for the Plague Champion, Mark of Tzeentch for the Chaos Predator, and the second Chaos Predator is almost here. So his double range has done reasonably well. Needed a bit of a line breaker I think, and tried to use the Autarch for that to break through the triple shooter wall. Is that a Megalo Rumbler? It is. Swapping out the battery pack. And Merciless Switchblade is knocking them all over the place. Blue team now capping the bottom, but Reds have taken a natural back, so it's not going to be a triple. 227-186. Avatar on the field for Simon. Super unit for Eldar. Kicks lots of arse in melee combat. Warboss finishes off that Chaos Dreadnought. Huge losses for Dirkradix, only has heretics and this unupgraded Dreadnought left. Nobs are chasing it too, but they back off. And Avatar just sits pretty at the bottom. Battle Wagon and a load of shooter boys trying to take Red's natural, and it looks like they're going to be able to. Well, here comes Edtjuh's Warlock, using his speed to get to Blue's natural. 227-172. Four top forces of Guardians. More Guardians capping this northeast rep point. And these Eldar forces should be capping their natural powers red, and so is this rep point, and they could be hitting this power, but they're doing none of it. Just sitting at the bottom VP, giving the red team free resources. Battle Wagon flees from these knobs and is almost down. 366 hit points remaining. Will not last long if these guys get into melee range. They found some shooter boys to hit up, and they last mere seconds. A bunch of sync kills delays the inevitable. Battle Wagon does go down because of the Kommando Nob with his ridiculous rocket launcher. Now just hitting terrain though. 227-119. Edtjuh's Warlock in there trying to disrupt these cappers, and it's doing well. Takes out a Guardian squad. There's a noxious Cloud 2. Moving it along with the retreating unit, should be able to get a couple more losses at least. There's one. And there's another. Got no squad wipes. And a weird boy gets away fine, has Warpath, which is odd. You usually see that on lots of slugger builds. But Commies doesn't have any sluggers and is replacing the Battle Wagon. Edtjuh getting an avatar of his own. Dirkradix Dreadnought chased by Nobs and a D cannon. Look at the range it has. Artillery unit that sets up. Nob squads turn on it. Base turrets suppressing these guys. But they use Frenzy and go right after the Dreadnought again. This is a dead Dreadnought. Saved by the Heretics grenade barrage, but they're still chasing, and a headbutt from that Nob took out the Dreadnought. That's how tough Nobs are. Blue team still sitting at the bottom VP, but they have started capping up stuff thanks to these sluggers. Edtjuh's avatar on the field. Does not attack these Nobs in retreat. 227-114. Fierce fighting over Blue's natural here. Four tarts going to be forced off surely. Yes. Webway gate goes up from Edtjuh, but it's going to be taken out immediately by these warp spiders and shooters, and the weird boy can cap. Sluggers level 3 with their Nob leader are pretty fearsome. Speedy little melee unit that are cheap to reinforce, but they're taking a lot of damage here and will be forced to retreat. There we go. Tank busters on the field for Tyger. Avatar has not moved a muscle. Excellent Wailing Doom by Edtjuh's avatar. Just about caught the end of it in his Imperial Guard by Dirkradix. This could be a game changer. Lots of stuff dying. Dirkradix getting some Kel Space Marines to try and rebuild her forces. That was nasty. Edtjuh's avatar though cannot cap, so it's just whacking on this webway gate. D cannon coming to cap perhaps. Warlock in melee, and Destructor finishes off those heretics. Nicely done. Has the Witchblade of Kurnus and Providence. Now in melee with a Kommando squad who are trying to be sneaky and cap. Mekboy teleports back, ties up the tank busters, and there's a Wailing Doom. Hits his own Warlock, and that is it. Nob squad with their Jammers going after the D cannon, using Frenzy so they take no damage. Worn off now though, and they go after the avatar. Or do they? Yes, thought they were going to go after the Autarch, and they are going after the Autarch. Webway gate put in a very sneaky place. Autarch puts up a shield. Nobs go after the Webway gate. 226-48, and none of the VPs capped. Blue capping the southwest though. And the Kommando Nob went down defending Red's natural. Edtjuh's Warlock beasting some Warp Spiders with a special attack and some Sluggers. Warp Spiders can cap though. Warlock in a lot of trouble here. Uses Heart of Darkness to put shield back up. But it doesn't last forever. Not sure what the Warlock is doing. Gonna cap? No, he's gonna attack these Space Marines. Dirkradix went tier 3 and then just got double CSM. Should have stayed in tier 2. 214, 42. Mekboy just gets out of there. Warlock is now trying to cap again. Has Providence on, so nothing can damage him now. There's an Eldritch Storm on his double knobs that Tyger has, and that's nasty. Looks like Frenzy was off cooldown because they didn't use it. Avatar gets a sync kill. Now needs to back away from the double knob squads, and Red can cap, and here's a Wailing Doom. Nasty. I think Dirkradix was in amongst them and got a Mucus Discharge just before it hit, which might have saved a few models. Blue have both of the naturals though, and it's a 2-1-4-11. This is all over. Avatar is going to go down for tank busters. There we go. And blue team take it. Red team actually conceded right at the end. 1 VP remaining. Cool fight. I think Edtjuh really suffered from that early Banshee loss. Couldn't really push onto the shooters, only sit back and use rangers to bleed them. So commies really gave him problems up here. Thanks for watching guys, I'll see you next time.